Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm joined again with Alexis Martin. Last week we were in the gym doing some of my favorite weightlifting exercises. Today we're taking advantage of this beautiful weather and Alexis is going to take me through a private yoga lesson. Now it's been at least a year since I've practiced any yoga, so I'm a combination of nervous and excited.
That's a long time. Yeah. Where have you been?
Yeah, you probably just came off the mat.
Yeah, right?
Why don't we take advantage and get started? What do you got planned for us today?
I'm just going to go over some functional shapes that I think would be applicable to what you do on a regular basis with your powerlifting.
Okay, sounds great.
Great.
Let's get started.
We've got everything set up to go through a simple, well-rounded practice this afternoon. A very truncated version, just hitting a couple of the hot spots of things that I think would be helpful to complement your powerlifting practice.
Okay, sounds great.
Good. Let's start with a little bit of breathing. So take the block up underneath your sit bones. So you'll sit on the block.
Okay.
And what that does is when you lift your hips up, it allows your knees to fall down a little bit and it gives you a tilt to the pelvis. So sit forward a little bit so that if your pelvis was a bowl, you'd be able to tilt the bowl forward, yet your shoulders stay over
so stay
top.
upright. Okay.
So the goal of the practice is to be well adjusted. You want to find the center of you, the center of your sphere, so that whether it happens in front or behind or in the sides, above and so below, you find yourself in the center. So part of that is being able to lift your gaze up onto the horizon so that you be able to see what's coming both out in front of you in all the directions. So tilt back just a little bit with the upper body. There you are. Now you're much more well adjusted. Good. From here, maybe take your hands around your ribs or maybe one hand to your heart or one hand to your belly, and we'll just start with a little bit of breathing. Feel free to close your eyes. So take a big breath in through your nose. Good. And then on the exhalation, allow the breath to come out through the nose. Good. And then in your mind's eye, imagine the breath rising up your back body. Inhale. Good. And then on your exhale, imagine the breath coming down your front body. So we start to embrace the circular nature of the physical being. Inhaling up the back body. Good. And then exhaling down the front body. Good. I love that you're breathing three-dimensionally in all the directions. And again, like that, inhale up through the back body. And then exhaling down the front. Good. One more big breath like that. Inhaling up the back body. And then exhaling down the front body. Good. So establishing a simple breath of the inhale and the exhale allows us to start with a good foundation. And then from there, we'll take the breath into a little bit of movement and start to weave it through some poses. So shift forward, you can take the block to the side and we'll come to an all fours position with the shoulders over your hands and the hips over the knees. Good. So you want to find yourself well adjusted and balanced out. So one of the easiest ways to find that is take the block behind the wrists and find the 90-degree angle. That might mean you need to shift forward, it might mean that you need to shift back. And you want to do the same thing with the knees. You want to have the tops of the knees at the top of the block. There you go. So when we find the 90-degree angles, we find the stability in the form. And when the form has functionality and has a good foundation, that's when things get fun. I think he's gonna stay there for a while. Hi. How are you feeling?
I feel outstanding. I'm like incredibly relaxed. Just this overwhelming tranquility. Yeah, it feels so good. Now we're... I can't even find my words because I'm so relaxed.
What are some similarities that you find between yoga? Probably more from your memory, more so than just what we practice. But what are some similarities between that and the powerlifting that you find?
The very first word that comes to my mind is focus. You have to be absolutely focused on both to do them properly. And obviously I'm not doing them that properly, but I can see there's a tremendous balance to it. And I don't mean just balance as in like I'm trying to balance and not fall over, but there's a balance in using those muscles and using those parts of your body together. Practicing yoga helps alleviate some of the tension that comes from powerlifting. So often when we're powerlifting, we're always contracting our muscles. We're getting tight everywhere. We're told to be as tight as possible. And with yoga, there's like an elongation to it. There's like this gentle release that it seems to occur if it's done properly. Now, obviously there are positions I'm in where I'm like, ow, that hurts, but it's probably more of just like an overuse of a particular muscle, or like you mentioned when we were practicing, like I'm putting too much pressure on one part of my body with not involving the other part.
Yeah, well, just like anything in life, we can become too attached or codependent or too dependent on a certain part of our body or in a relationship or beyond that. And you know,
Exactly.
the yoga practice becomes this microcosm where we're able to kind of look and observe and make better choices about how we want to live our life.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I find that same, that level of that focus and that life on a microscope type of thinking in powerlifting, because it's like it allows you to go through all the steps of life, all the different things where you may have a goal or you're trying to attain a goal or reach something. And then you have to accept that maybe I'm not approaching it correctly, or what are the little inconsistencies that I have to fine tune and tweak to get through my practice or get through this particular part in my life, whether it be a relationship or an outside goal.
Yeah, it becomes a tool to understand our narrative, you know, the thoughts that we have and the way we narrate our life.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think that when we pay attention to things that are often or have the ability to be autonomous in our body, but if we put attention on them, to be able to use it with a little bit more wisdom, then we just can make better choices.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Alexis. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this week's episode, hit that like button below, hit subscribe, and tune in next time.